Oh, God. It's raining, bud.
Howdy peeps, the rain continues. The great August monsoon of Indiana, which I don't understand what is going on with Mother Nature, but Mother Nature done went and broke herself. So we're stuck at the mill today. We're having a great time at the mill today. I don't know why I said it like that. I love working in the mill when I get the chance. We're on hard maple. The only problem is, and I'm pulling lumber today, but the only problem is we're having a little bit of sawing issue. So I'm helping Derek and them on their sawing issue for what, a little bit, even if it's just moral support. Derek is, we don't know. We can't decide. I think it's the band. We can't decide. We're going back and forth between the band and the head saws. One of them deals where when you get sawing problems, sometimes it's just a problem. Sometimes it ain't bad at all. Sometimes it's a problem. So Derek fooling with the guides here. We end up going over and changing the head saw. Putting a different head saw on, trying that. Because Pooh's having a little trouble getting his saw to run right. I don't remember what was going on with that. Didn't want to settle in right. I think it was had a little bit of wobble to it. Wouldn't settle in right. So he went ahead and put a different saw back on. We changed it out and there he is sharpening up his teeth and getting ready to rock and roll. And then I end up, we get things running good. We did the alignment, but I didn't get the alignment for some reason. I don't know, I was just busy. But we got our alignment done, and things are looking a lot better. And we're down here pulling maple. And I even get the interview ham at the end of the day. So let's see what's going on.
How many steps in a day that you walk? How many miles you walk? How many feet you walk?
You walk 12 miles a day. He walks 12 miles a day.
10 to 12.
10 to 12. Corona free. The way to be. Corona free is the way to be. You know that, don't you? Oh, yeah. But all this would be is a good way for you to make me look bad.
It is.
First thing this morning when me and Harwick did is change bands. This is, no, we didn't. Derek wanted to, we're finishing up the white oak. The white oak set out a bit and got sun beaten, got hard, got dry, and the white oak is just beating the crap out of the head saw and the resaw. I mean, it's just beating the crap out of it. So Derek was like, you know what? There ain't much more than a skidful to ram through this thing. The skidful you're looking at there and the skidful from the debarker to the head saw. That's about it. I think there's actual pallet logs. There's actual gum logs on the debarker skids right now to do the switch over to go to maple. But just to get the rest of it, and white oak's expensive, so you gotta take your time and get all your I's dotted and all your T's crossed and everything when you're sawing white oak, because you want your stuff to be lickety split. And what we do first thing in the morning, let me jump in there, is do our lubrication. That's what we all do. Now, those of us that lubricates, those are the whistle blowing crybabies out there. The ones of us that lubricate, we know we're certified to lubricate and we know what we're doing. There's only a certain amount of us that does the lubricating of the chains. So anyways, I just wanted to cover that in case somebody started ball bagging around about silly stuff. But anyways, we got in there and we're trying to saw the white oak and finish it, but we can't even make ourselves happy enough to finish it. It ain't no time. Carrie calls up. It ain't right. Figured it out. And we're like, oh man. So we go back. Derek's like, well, maybe something's in the guide. So we drop the tension down the band. Drop the wheel down the band and loosen it up. And Derek I'm getting more oil. But Derek checks and makes sure the guides are clean, because if there's buildup on the guide, sometimes it can be a problem. But it's kind of fishing. We're kind of stretching, trying to figure things out, and it ain't quite there. We just never do quite come up with a solution. Now, Pooh put on a saw that I think Rick and Ball just hammered. And something Rick and Ball ain't happy about the saw or something of that nature. So it was kind of a trial thing, and it didn't run. So the saw didn't run. So me and Mikey went over and helped Pooh change his saw, his head saw, back but to a saw that he knows is right and ready to run. And then everybody's running their feed speed down slow. We're running slow feed speed, trying to milk the rest of what little bits left out through this thing. And then the idea is we'll get all our cutters right, all our alignment right, change bands, and go to maple. We end up having to line it. The guide pressure up top there, the top guide there, right below the lubricator there, it was off. It was, I can't remember. I've slept since then. Kind of bear with me. But the top guide was off a bit. We didn't have to move the bottom guide, but we had to move the fence and the top guide to get everything just right on the resaw. The head saw come right around. I think when Pooh changed his head saw, I think it fixed it right around. Then we fixed the resaw in the line bar there, and then got things running after what you're seeing here. Mullins is on the turner, and he's trying to help get the white oak finished up here. But after we get everything sawing again, I think it turns out okay. It's just kind of wrestling through this to get it sawing again, and everybody, and the guys are ticked off. The guys that run the battle these saws, they're not happy. Now you see how I back up behind that yellow piece of my feet? If I'm on the back side of that piece of my feet, I'm safe. When I step out there, I take a chance on getting my feet smashed with a can. So I stand back behind that. You stand behind that yellow guard. It's kind of a safety guard there. Keeps the cants off the catwalk, and definitely gives people a safe place to stand. But you don't want to get your feet between the cant and the safety spot there. Now over here, I took a minute while I had some spare time, and I throw my camera, the GoPro out here. This is under the debarker, and you're seeing the bark here go to the concave conveyor. And then this here is the cable that runs the buggy back and forth on the debarker carriage. And then there's the, that chain looks a little dry. And look how dry that white oak looks. That is some dry wood. And white oak, even moist white oak's more than a medium density wood. It's a harder density wood. You dry it out like that, and man, it's super hard on the daggone it. So I'm hosing this down while I'm waiting to see if everybody's going to be happy with everything they're operating with on their cutters and stuff. So I went ahead and hosed this white oak down for Pooh. And you're seeing the last of it there that Mikey's debarking. I mean, that's about the end of it. I think that's all white oak. That might have even been some gum on the end of the skids there. So here's where we're shutting down, and Derek's going to get in there and try to see if he could get some buildup off the guides or what have you to get us going. We got them stacking up. Them guys get to come back here Thursday and Friday after we shut down today. This is Thursday morning, but we'll shut down after they get the maple ran through. They're about to end the white oak, but the white oak has kicked the crap out of all the cutters. Hard on the bands. They've hit nails a couple times. Yeah, we don't have a metal detector. That's what we use our head saw for, but don't know. Mikey is an energetic son of a buck. He cracks me up, that boy does. Heck of a man. Full of piss and vinegar and just going and getting it. His mind's on work. That's all it's ever been on. That's all it's ever going to be on. They had kids young. He's a good daddy. They're good parents. And him and Jody are. And he's just a good, for his age, no older than Mikey is, he's got a real good, fraternal instinct. Mikey does. He cares about everybody, and if we had to blade the wrong way, it's mostly my fault. Mikey knows what he's doing. I don't. I'm just trying to help out and make everybody's day just a little bit easier, because they're all. It's hard to crack a grin out of Pooh. He's having a rough morning too, trying to get his stuff to saw. So I'm helping out best I can. I'm tormenting him as much as possible. But he wasn't happy with the way that other blade went. Rick and Ball had hammered that blade, but from what I got from Pooh, Rick and Ball wasn't too happy with it when he rolled it out. And you know what they say about some of them blades, you got to roll them out because you got to just kind of roll them out the door and in the scrap hopper. You know what I mean? But it's one of them deals. I don't know. I've never hammered a blade. My brother's real good at hammering, and Rick Ball's good at hammering. And there comes a time, I think they'll get at a certain blade that they can't get to do what they want it to do, and they'll have to try a few things and stuff like that, and make it or break it, whatever it does, and then try again. So, anyways, I'm rambling, but they took the blade back for Rick Ball to try it again. We put a saw on that we pretty sure is going to run good. Mikey's working on getting the guides ready he's backing the guides off a little bit to where they're ready to set the guides after we get the blade up to speed. The blade runs at 640 RPMs is what our saw blade runs at. He backs the guides out, and the way a saw blade works, the saw blade's cupped. It's like a bow, and the depth of your bow is determined by the amount of RPMs your blade runs. As your blade spins up to speed, the metal stretches a little bit, and then the saw blade will stand up straight. And I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but your saw blade standing up straight is pretty important, because when you go to saw a cant, the saw, that's a big limber piece of steel, really, and the saw blade has to be stiff to be pushed out away from the cant. So when you saw it, the place of least resistance is out of the log. So you kind of put some, what do they call it? Lead. They call it lead in the saw. You kind of angle the saw towards the carriage a little bit. And that saw blade is set at 332. At 330 seconds lead from the front to the back of the blade. That's at a new saw, not spun up the RPMs. That's just... And them Brownsville turners, that air you see, that steam you see them pop out of them turners, that's when it's kicking. There's turners on the head saw that you can flop them logs. Damn it! Watching videos, I'm editing. That's a terrible thing to do. Them turners, when you pop them, when they get over to the dump, them turners, there's a set of kickers that air escapes out of there real quick, and it'll throw that log off the carriage onto the. And that's what he's rolling the log towards the log turner with. And then when you clamp it down with, it's called the dogs. You dog down on your log, your cant or log, where it turns into a cant. But you dog down on your log with them pointy, sharpie doodads, and they're all that's air operated cylinders. The hydraulic cylinders are laid down flat there. They're your lineal positioner cylinders. You see the little lineal positioners there are your daggone servo valves on the back of them. And anyways, let me jump ahead here. Now here's the white oak that we're sawing. Look how pretty that wood is. But it's just trying to finish up. The wood you're seeing stacked on the debarker over there is gum. Across the way, we're just this close to done with the daggone white oak, but we just want to make sure it's just right. You don't want your wood off. You saw wedge lumber, you'll saw taper lumber. When you got maximum allowable thickness and minimum allowable thickness, and 1 inch is minimum. If it drops below 1 inch, you can take the nicest looking faceboard, which is on the outside of some of them fat cants, and that makes that son of a buck of coal. You'll take a board that could be worth $2.16, something like that right now, cents a board foot, and you'll turn it instantly into something that's worth 25 cents a board foot. Think about that. It's a lot of money down the tubes quick. And here's a little camera angle I put going into Derek's fence. And of course, Derek and Pooh, neither one wants me recording right now because their saws ain't doing right, and that'd just be like, well, me, I don't care because I know life's life, You know what I mean? There's days where this sucker's running wide open, bang, bang, bang through the whole thing, and red oak or poplar or something like that, and you get days like that. And here I am watering down the last of the white oak logs for Pooh, see if they're gonna be all right sawing the rest of it. But anyways, I'll shut up. I'm getting ready to go down to the lumber room and help them down there when they go over on their maple. Okay, so what's going on down here is we are running maple, and maple's got a 12-foot, 8, 10s, and 12s. That's all we're doing our maple. That's all our lumber company buys grade maple has. Now, Big Mama and Stevie every once in a while cuts a 14-foot maple, and we've got to cut 2 feet off of them, just throw them in a chipper. So, I don't remember where the confusion was on that. There's one company that buys long maple, and so we just cut 12 and shorter on maple because that's what they want. And we aim to please. Now, Foxy keeps getting away. Now, I was fast forward through some of that stuff, but Foxy was laying there watching us work, riding away, where you're trying to, she was laying right there by Mullins' feet there, the guy in the shorts there by Carrie up top. And I finally was like, you know what, if you're going to sit there in the way, I reached down there and gave Foxy my crayon. I was like, you can mark the boards off. And Walter seen that, and Walter like to die laughing. I'll tell you what, this bunch, I love this bunch. It's a heck of a bunch. And that's Crazy John down there doing the rips by himself. I finally go help him, but I'm trying to keep an eye on Walter. Steven's not here. He's had truck trouble today. He's working on his truck. What was wrong with his truck? I think his slave cylinder, or what is that? A slave cylinder or whatever's in your clutch. What's in your clutch? I can't remember. Yeah, it's a slave cylinder. It's a hydraulic clutch. Anyways, the piston on his hydraulic clutch is acting up. So, and he's having trouble with trying to figure out what it was and how to get it to work right. And he basically took the day off work to get the job done because this is their last sawmill day anyways for the week. It was going to be pallet after this. And I think they switch off to the pine and they carry some runners and stuff like that after this maple's done. I didn't cover any of it, but I know since we got to doing these bunks, I know I hadn't covered the bunks being used any. Just hadn't got down to it. But I finally caught it on camera, one of the bunks kicking out. But the problem is my cable, I guess one of my cable clamps come undone and it dropped the weights off the end of the cable. I didn't know that. So, yeah, I'm getting ready to push the 12s out, me and Walter is. But Walter had to run down and shut the door because the daggone thingamabob's unhooked. And I'm sitting here editing this, and I realized when I'm editing this, I never did fix that. So it's still like that.
Okay, I got a question for him. Okay, so me and him got to talk about what? Moving the coal car a while ago, and it goes always in the line, and we decided Mama don't pay us for mileage. For mileage, yeah, like a truck driver.
Yeah.
So, Ham said he's got an app on his phone.
That tells how many steps in a day that you walk, how many miles you walk, how many feet you walk.
You walk 12 miles a day. He walks 12 miles a day.
10 to 12.
10 to 12.
Roughly.
Corona free. The way to be. Corona free is the way to be. You know that, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
He's an athlete. It's a top-notch athlete. Now, how many steps is that? That's well over. See, because a lot of these ladies, they want to make her 10,000 steps a day.
Oh, you're definitely going to get your 10,000 steps a day if you come work here.
How many steps did you make? This record's, what do you say, 120,000?
Oh, that was weekly.
That's weekly?
Yeah, I looked at it at lunch.
Okay.
It's like between 12 and
So he's
13,000.
You're making beautiful, beautiful.
So, a lot.
Does that count high stepping though? When you're in a hurry.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. And don't forget to hit the buttons and leave me likes, comments, stuff. Let me know what's up. And to anybody that's wanting logger weight gear, go to loggerweight.com and help yourself at the shop there. And we got all that good mess. Take care of it. And mostly just want to say thanks, everybody. Hope everybody has a good one later on.